Welcome to the session Advanced Java Programming. In this Advanced Java Programming, we are going to discuss about Enterprise Java P. What is Enterprise Java P? It's a modified component model for Java and Karma. Karma means Common Object Request Broker Architecture. This Enterprise Java Bean is a specification for creating server-side, scalable, transactional, multi-user, and secure enterprise-level application. And this Enterprise Java Bean is presented by Sun in 1999. They are easier than other technologies like RMA and Canva. RMA means Remote Method Invocation, which is specific for distributed systems. And you should know what are the benefits of Enterprise Beans. Enterprise Java Bean repository in system-level services to enterprise beans. The bean developer can focus on solving specific business problems, and it actually contains only the application's business logic. The client developer can focus on presentation of the client. Enterprise Java beans are portable elements. The application assembler can build new form of the beans. And Enterprise Java Bean overview. This Enterprise Java Bean is a simple code which was developed by using the bean provider. Once it develops the Enterprise Java Bean means, then it's wrapped up the bean into an E.G.P container. This container provides transaction security, persistence, remote protocols, and resource pooling. Then it provides the application services used by the container, the E.G.P server. So E.G.P bean is wrapped in the E.G.P container. This E.G.P container is wrapped in E.G.P server. Then deployment phase. Once the E.G.P bean is created by using the bean provider, then it's wrapped into an E.G.P container, which actually provides the core to support integrated beans and also the plumbing capabilities like persistence, security, and state management. And in two ways we can deploy this Java bean, which actually provides jar files. One way is a remote jar and another way is deployed jar. In this remote jar, we are using remote interfaces, client communication. And in this deployed jar, the bean class server communications and code is generated. When we have to use these types of enterprise bean, if the application is scalable, then we can use this enterprise bean. To accommodate the growing number of users, and the distributed application components and also which should be placed across multiple machines. And in this enterprise Java bean, the applications run on different machines. Not only that, the locations remains transparent to all the clients. And also these transactions should ensure the data integrity. The application will have variety of clients. These clients can be thin and also various and numerous. This EJP is a component model. So Java component means which actually contains a set of interfaces and classes which have been assembled into a single package to provide a specific functionality. And we can use the same component in different applications. So it's known as independent piece of software. And in this AGP component model, we are specifying only the business logic. There is no need to worry about security reasons and also the persistence transactions, security and other types of middleware communications. Containers can host components which are responsible for providing the middleware services, and they are type checked, remote invocations, and also standard ways of using record services. Component-oriented middleware makes developer job easier because with the help of these components, we can easily satisfy the user requirements. The containers can host component instances. And we are having three tier architecture in this enterprise Java B. First one is client tier, second one is business tier, third one is enterprise information system tier. Client tier, which actually consists of client applications like browsers, standalone applications. Business tier is capable of hosting distributed applications, which is known as application server. And these application servers can host containers. Third one is Enterprise Information System tier. This tier contains enterprise resource planning systems, mainframe transaction processing systems, and databases. Then this enterprise Java bean satisfies the de facto standards and it leverages best of breed technologies from standard organizations like OMG, Object Management Group, IBM, BA, Sun, and Oracle, which actually creates scalable applications without compromising any performance issues. It enables a clear separation between the functional and non-functional aspects of application development. Programmer need not to worry about issues like security, transactions, consistent concurrency, persistence, and resource pooling. And they provide one situations that is vendor lock-in. What is vendor lock-in means? We are creating this EJP by using the components, application component and objects developed within one vendor's application service, and also we can deploy these components in another vendor's application server. So here we are using two different types of vendor application that is known as a vendor lock-in. And also, these architectures will satisfy the open standard bodies, like Java Community Process from Sun, and also leverage standards from other bodies like OMG. So the advantages of this EJP is which actually provides the portability. And it's possible to develop a component using one vendor's application server and also sell it to someone who is depending on another vendor's application server. And next one is roles, relationships, and responsibilities. So this enterprise Java beans allows to play multiple roles based on the companies. They can concentrate their efforts on just those areas in which they want to expertise. It's no longer depend on single ventures, and we can have some different responsibilities, roles, and relationships in this enterprise Java beans. They are deployment descriptor, bean provider, server container provider, application assembler, EJP deployer, and system administrator. First one is deployment descriptor. This is actually a part of EJP contract between the EJP developer and the EJP container. These declarative informations are not stored in the bean implementation directly. It defines where the methods of the bean must be invoked with the scope of transaction and where not to include these bean methods and so on. This descriptor is similar to traditional Java property files, which has deployment informations. EJP's deployment descriptor is represented as an XML document, which is both human readable and writable by using the XML tools in the text editor. Next one is bean provider. This provides the source for enterprise beans and also which is essentially the software component that is application specific work, and the components are individually deployable, and also we can combine these components into a solution for some specific problems. If we want to design a component with reusability and reconfigurability means we have to include this property from the starting of the development, starting of the construction of the component itself, and it can be configured at runtime, which is more useful to the customer, and also which is requires recompilations. Once the deployment descriptor has been created, then it's actually wrapped up in the jar file, that is Java active file. Next one, the server or container provider. A good relationship between container and component means it actually allows the application to be modified through the container without making any changes in the code. Container mediate all the client and also the component interactions. The container is responsible for lifecycle management, security management, deployment, transactions, threadings on behalf of components. And here we are just combining the enterprise beans in a container because container is a collection of enterprise beans. One container can hold multiple enterprise beans. In the same way, one EJP server can hold multiple containers. In application assembler, by using this application assembler, we can just convert the components into an application to solve some specific business problems. This is an architect because which has an intimate knowledge of the components and the problem that needs a solution. And the way in which the components are glued together will depend upon the application requirements. As a result, the component may interact directly with other Java classes. The interaction between components may be structured as workflow in the distributed systems. The N.G.P developer, which is a N.G.P deployer, which is responsible for converting the application into a running execution environment, and it knows how to deploy enterprise means within the application servers. These deploys are responsible for mapping the access level of a bean to fit any deployment domain security settings. The last one is the system administrator. The system administrator monitors the application and its interactions, and also they can make any modification in the runtime configurations based on the feedback from the applications they contain. The enterprise Java Bean is actually a component-based model which is deployed as a part of distributed enterprise application. And of, we can classify this enterprise Java Bean into three types. One is entity bean, session bean, and message-driven beans. First one is entity bean. Entity bean is responsible for storing the state of the store and also saving it back. Until it's saved back, the persistent storage is susceptible to machine failures and application server crashes. And also all the interaction between the bean and the data store is mediated by the container, and also which is actually hidden from the client. And entity beans can be shared among multiple concurrent clients, and also these are all called within the scope of the transactions. Each and every client invocations are serializable, and we can classify this entity bean into two types. One is bean mapped persistent and another one is container managed persistent. In bean managed persistent, the programmer has to write the code for database calls. But in container managed persistence, the container takes care of all the database calls. There is no need to write any code for database calls separately in this container managed persistence, because each and every container is responsible and also take care of this database calls. Session beans. Session beans also used to perform the business functions of the enterprise application, and they are having the following characteristics. That is, they are not permanent in nature. They implement a conversion state between the client and server. The service a single client request at a time. They enable you to address the data stored which was in your databases. And we can further classify this session bean into two types. One is stateless session bean and another one is stateful session bean. First one is stateless session bean. Stateless session bean, it executes business operations without maintaining a client state, and the client request is processed by a single session bean. It's a lightweight component and it does not contain any complex data structures because it does not store any client states. It improves the scalability of an application because smaller number of stateless sessions can serve large number of requests because they are not storing any state of the client. Next one is stateful session bean. It maintains the client state while executing different business operations. It reduces application scalability because N.G.P container needs to manage a large number of stateful session beans. The number of stateful session bean instances is equal to the number of clients because the stateful session bean instance stores each and every state of a particular client. And the comparison between the stateful versus stateless session bean. Stateless session bean does not maintain the state associated with any client, but stateful session bean maintain the states which is associated with the client. Stateless session beans are simple and lightweight, and stateful session bean, the container does not create any identity for a stateless session beans. The number of stateful session beans are equal to the number of active clients, and stateful session beans can provide easy and transparent state of management of the enterprise bean type, the application server which manages the clients. So this is all the comparison between the stateful and stateless session beans. Thank you.